Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today we obviously got a brand new update in Warzone and Black Ops 6. We saw some patch notes, some changes to certain weapons. We covered that in our first video today with the full patch note update. A part of this update though was the brand new COD Tunes Event, and with this we got a couple of individual challenges to go through. You can complete some in multiplayer, zombies, or Warzone, and one of the rewards for this event is a brand new aftermarket part, a CQB conversion for the TR2 marksman. So it goes from being a semi-auto long-range beast, or at least it was before they nerfed it, to a close-range option instead, like completely changing how this weapon feels and how this weapon plays. So today, wanted to break down, is this weapon actually worth using and worth unlocking, the quickest ways to unlock it, and then of course, the best loadout and class setup you want to be using for it. So that said, first up here, we are on COD Unity. They've already got these stats live for the TR2 CQB auto conversion. As you can see, we've got that attachment on here, and this is supposed to be a close range option, of course. So we're comparing it to some of our other top tier close range options like the Loadout, the C9, the LC10, the SOG, and then the FFAR more so for sniper support. We know that's the king there. And when we go ahead and we look at the TTK here, this thing is actually surprisingly competitive. In no specific case is it a clear number one choice, but as you can see, its first initial damage range going out to right around 20 meters there, really solid. Means for sniper support, it's going to be a good choice. It won't be the number one choice, like the FFAR is clearly better than everything here in the mid-range. But if you were comparing this to other SMGs, the TR2 conversion is actually way better in that mid-range. Close damage range, it's going to just be more competitive. LC10 is still the absolute fastest TTK there, the Loadout a little bit behind that. This is basically on par with some of those other SMGs though, right there in the mix essentially, right there with the SOG, with the C9, etc. there. Competitive with those choices for sure. It's not going to be game breaking, overpowered or anything, and it's really going to come down to preference. Do you like the feel, the control, the handling of an LC10 or a Loadout more than this conversion kit for the TR2? You probably want to opt for those. Do you really like the irons and the feel of the TR2? Okay, well then you could opt for that. And then in the mid range, like I said, it'll be better than the SMGs for sure, basically beyond that first damage range, beyond the first 10 to 12 meters, but the FFAR for sniper support is still going to be the go-to. But if you want to switch things up, this certainly could be an option, and it's nice to see that this is actually competitive despite the fact that they just heavily nerfed the base TR2 with the update that we covered today. So let's now jump in game, talk about the unlock requirements for this, what you want to look out for, and then of course we'll break down the best loadout for it. If you guys enjoy the video as we do so, you find the info helpful, a like rating is always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to make sure that each and every day you are in the know for the latest news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns, really everything going on in COD. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. So when you go into the COD Tunes event, now what's actually really convenient about this is that in the past, a lot of the aftermarket parts or the new weapon updates or sometimes the full-on brand new weapons themselves are locked behind being the final reward for the event. So you'd have to go through and do each individual challenge to then get the new aftermarket part or the new weapon. In this case though, it's just an individual reward here, and you don't have to do all of these first. You can do these in any order, and you just have to do one of the 3 challenges. So each mode here offers a different challenge. Whichever one you think is easiest is the one to jump into and complete the fastest. Obviously, if you're a free-to-play player, you only have one option, and that's through Warzone. And for this, they want you to fly through the Overlook's upper sky deck. So you just have to hope no one else is trying to do the same thing as you and getting in the way. But at least it's just a one-time challenge. You fly through that upper sky deck and you're good to go. You'll have this challenge unlocked. If it tracks correctly, this is one I have to imagine the tracking is going to be a little bit wonky. Like you might do it and it might not track, and then you do it really awkwardly and it tracks. Things like this are oftentimes kind of gimmicky and kind of wonky, so hopefully it just works out in your favor if you're going for that one. In multiplayer, they want you to place top 3 in a match 5 times, so you do have to play 5 matches for that. That's going to be a little bit more of a time-consuming one versus Warzone. It's a one-time thing, right? And then in zombies, get 30 kills while Frenzied Guard is active. This one's actually pretty easy, and it's probably the easiest out of all of them. It's the most straightforward as far as the tracking goes, at least as opposed to flying through Overlook there. So this one's very straightforward. If you have a a copy of BO6, you are a premium player, I'd probably recommend jumping into some zombies, just doing director mode or whatever, getting that Frenzied Guard, and you're good to go there. 30 kills, you'll have this fully unlocked, ready to go. Keep in mind, if you do not do any of these challenges, this event is going on for the next 3 weeks, so there is plenty of time to go through and complete this if you're interested. If you don't happen to unlock this in the time, say you're on vacation for 3 weeks or something's going on, right? You're not able to play, then this aftermarket part will shift over to the armory, and you'll be able to unlock it there just through simply getting XP like you would a normal weapon or some of the other stuff in the game. So it's not going to be a limited time exclusive. You have to get this in the next 3 weeks or you can't access it, but it's definitely very straightforward with these challenges here, regardless if you want to go Warzone, multiplayer, or zombies. Now though, let's talk about the loadout, the class setup for it. Hey everyone, real quick, wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at G Fuel. We are of course in the midst of summer. It's hot outside. You want to stay hydrated, look no further than G Fuel. They got plenty of flavor options for their new hydration and focus formula. And of course, if you're looking to stay energized, there's a ton of options there as well between the tubs and the cans. And G Fuel is constantly adding in new flavors. Trust me when I say there is something for everyone. There are so many bangers. Some of my absolute favorites: watermelon limeade, hype sauce, fruit punch, all fantastic. You can mix and match flavors as well. They got so many choices. If you ever want to grab anything at all from the new and improved G Fuel site, use code Immortal at checkout. The link for that will be down in the description below if you're interested. So here in private match, since things are just unlocked by default, you can sort of go through and test things and see how you like them. Obviously, the most important part of the setup outright on the TR2 is using this conversion kit. And as you can see, it changes stats everywhere. It changes the damage profile, the fire rate, the velocity, the control. It's doing all sorts of stuff here. Behind the face cam, it says plus 1,874% on the horizontal control. I don't know if that's a typo or not, but regardless, it's not that crazy, I promise you. Throw on that, obviously, this is going to limit some of what we can build out. For instance, you can no longer use any barrel attachments on this. Instead, I'd definitely be opting for a compensator. It's close range, so you don't really want monolithic suppressor. It's going to slow down your ADS too much to compete with the other SMGs. Unless you're focusing exclusively on sniper support, then this is maybe something you could run there if you wanted to. I still think for the most part, though, compensator is going to be the go-to, especially with an iron sight based build like what we're going to be using here. I do also go for an underbarrel in this case, vertical foregrip, attacking that horizontal control, getting you some of those stats back, just making this thing a little bit easier to use in general. You could also try out ranger foregrip and see how that would feel for you as well, for what it's worth. For magazines, you only get one option here. Everything else is ineligible except for the fully auto extended mag, which is actually a 50 rounder, so that's going to work fine. That's going to be great for all squad sizes, pretty convenient there. And then lastly, you're going to pretty much choose between a rear grip or a stock, or if you really don't like the iron sights, you could use an optic here instead. For rear grips though, something like quick draw, just to speed up that ADS, make it a bit more snappy and aggressive there to 165. That's typically where I'd lean in this case. You could also use something like the infiltrator stock though for a better strafe if you wanted to as well. But that's about how I would set up this TR2 CQB auto conversion kit. If you want to check out the firing range, we can see how it actually performs and feels here. You can see I like these irons. I think they're honestly pretty clean, and it seems decently aggressive as far as mobility goes. The recoil really not too bad either, for what it's worth. With that 50 round mag, you don't really have to worry too much about anything. As far as the recoil pattern goes, if I'm not controlling anything, just seeing how the actual base pattern is, it's pretty straightforward, just up and to the right pretty consistently, so you can go through and counter that accordingly pretty easily here. So overall, it's going to be a decently easy weapon to use, and as we saw on the TTK chart, it's also going to be pretty effective here. Sniper support still would probably lean the FFAR, but for something to just switch things up in the close range, if you're a bit bored of the Ladra or the C9 or the LC10, this is absolutely a choice that you could use, and it's pretty efficient for what it is. So that being said, that's going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it, and if you're new here, feel free to hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications so you can always stay up to date with everything going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.